first couple of days, we're not in pads, and tomorrow we go in shells and take Sunday off and just have meetings. And so it's been really good, getting to get 63 guys that hadn't been here for a fall camp. So there's a transition for several guys, but still football. And it's just a little certain way that we do things, and really pleased with how guys are transitioning and adjusting. And really excited we're getting better. Had some situational work, and there's a lot of, give and take. And that's what you want to see. I'm seeing guys make some plays, not just the layups that go without saying, but guys that are making plays. And that's, we've had some guys like an Eric Gray or one of my favorite players of all time, 9, from last year, that made some plays. And but we got to get more guys that can make plays on both sides of the ball when maybe everything isn't perfect. And I'm seeing that maturation. And so especially I saw some guys making some great plays on offense today. Really encouraging, where guys are in great position on defense and guys are just making plays. If it's a quarterback, if it's a receiver, it's a tight end, if it's a back. So really encouraged by that, and got a long way to go, a lot of improvement. And again, that's 2 out of 24 that are in the books, and we got to make them all count. And so a lot of work to be done, but really pleased with, again, buy-in and leadership and toughness of the guys. They've looked good through the first couple of days. So
have you stayed healthy in the first 2 days?
We've had a couple guys that got banged up, Pete Chu and Emmett Jones Jr. And so we're getting MRIs on those guys. But other than that, I think we might have had a guy that cramped. But other than that, I think it was good.
Brent, who's exactly working at Cheatham? What kind of athlete/player are you looking for?
I think it's all the guys that there's a group of them, and we're trying to develop some both depth and versatility so that you can always keep your best players on the field. And so we're really working a lot of different combinations on both sides of the ball. Challenge the coaches we got a lot of guys that have versatility. You don't want to water down anybody because they've got too much on their plate, but the right ones that we feel like maybe are the right ones that can do multiple things, let's give them the opportunity here early in camp, see what they have a knack for, what their acumen is. And but there's a group of them, from Justin and Son to Peyton and Reggie. Those are the main group of guys, and Sammy, of course. There's some other guys that are there but haven't really gotten the reps.
Brent, you talk about guys making plays and you mentioned mostly offense. Are there guys defensively you feel like have the potential? And how important is that for the defense to get to a point where they're out there making plays?
Yeah, and we've seen that too. I'm kind of hard on the defense, and they deserve that. We haven't been very good in a while, but guys are making improvement there. So it's incredibly important, Not only are you going to be in the right spot a lot if if your process is correct, I challenge the guys, if you don't like the quality of the results that you have, then look at the quality of the process that you have and make sure that process is where it needs to be. And so that's to make just the layups and the execution, but maybe the guy's got a great jump on the ball and he's got a great swipe technique, in his pass rush game, or a great counter in his pass rush game, and he beats somebody one-on-one as opposed to rely on somebody busting an assignment. And that's incredibly important across the board, where they throw the ball in a perfect spot, and then you just make a great play, through the the receiver's hands. And we've seen that in the first couple of days with several players, and need to continue to see that. It's everything, and it's at all 3 levels that we got to see that. So anxious to continue to see that evolve, both on both sides of the ball. But defensively, we got a long way to go. I think everybody knows that. So, but been pleased with the work these guys have put in.
Brent, you're running a drill. It's not running right. You can bring a guy like Danny Stutzman out of the pile to show guys how to do that. How different is that this year versus where you were a year ago?
Well, we definitely have more guys, and that was really one of the things I challenged, because we're rotating a lot of guys in different packages and with different groups. And we didn't have the ability to do that a year ago in any way, shape, or form. And so some guys, they like their reps. They're used to their reps. Now their reps get split up. And I like that they don't like it. But they need to learn that they're the players and the coach is the coach. And there's some things that you get excited about, and there's some things that you just make the most of whatever opportunity you get. Don't complain about how many. You mean if and when, and I'm ready, and I'm going to dominate that small moment. If that's 2 plays, great. Do the right thing for those 2 plays. But it helps us, it gives us more confidence in guys. There's not a better training ground than the practice field. It's got to be your competitive advantage, and they got to have a game rep mentality. That is a mindset. And I know we talked about that a couple of days ago. A walkthrough, it's a freaking game. And if you look at it any other way, I think this game will expose you for that. Being casual, going through the motions, not being, passionate and detailed. There's lots of ways you can be intense and passionate and excited and locked in. But you're at a walkthrough pace. And we got, first of all, we got to have a group of guys on both sides of the ball that have respect for that process. When guys really value that and respect it, and hey, how about that walk? We getting that walk through today. They can't wait to get to it. Like a coach, man, we got something special. And that's developing, a mindset, a respect for it, and then that's recruiting, and then that's nurturing it in your program. And so it starts with us as coaches, and then it filters down to the guys. And I've been, again, I'm pleased. We've made a lot of improvement that way, and we're still not there yet.
Brent, you mentioned the other day that small foundation of guys you feel can lead, who know this culture. Having Justin Broyles out here, how did that come to be? And with him, someone like James Skalski, what do they bring, having been through this with you?
Justin can just encourage guys right now. He's not, there's certain rules. James, he's a GA, and so he can coach. But he can be, he's an encourager and, an effort kind of guy, and then he's charting and all that kind of stuff. He learned how to be a coach, and it's more than just, now he's got the other side of it. So,
That's like Dad calling the other day.
Hey, sounds like that was for me. A life crisis. Smash it, James.
Is that true? I did guess. It's in my pocket, so I don't know.
That's good, isn't it? What was the question?
I think we'd covered it. It's about Justin. I was clarifying his role. So he's just out here right now.
Yeah, and he's, again, so he's, when we get an opportunity to put him in one of those positions, we will. So, but it's a great opportunity for him to learn, grow, chase his passion. We always, we called him Coach Broyles when we first got. No players came up to the offices for 2 months. So he was the only one. We literally for the first 3 weeks thought he was a GA or something when we got here prior to the Oregon game. So he's right where he belongs.
Having some veterans, how key is that for the summer entries like Jaquez and stuff to get up and running immediately in fall camp?
That's really helped his transition. Just having, again, guys that certainly got coaches, but the players that are around each other, most often, how we do what we do, and what to expect, it really helps in that transition. It's tremendous.
Brent, defensive line was obviously a huge emphasis for you guys in the offseason. It looks like those guys are a lot bigger. How much is that going to help you guys, and just more bodies, it seems, too?
Again, you got to play. Everything happens really fast, so it's not just big. You got to be able to play fast and play with leverage and pad level and the point of attack, and so it's everything. That's one of the hardest positions to play, and mentally and physically. And so we think we're a little better there. I want to see it over time. I want guys to prove it, and that's across the board. It's not just D-line. I want show me, and it's easy to come out here in shorts and run around and look good, but that growth and development is going to be everything. But really, it's the whole defense. But we do have a little more depth and a few more bodies across the whole front.
How encouraging is it when they come out and get extra drills too?
Yeah, no, it's good. You got the right guys is what it tells you. Guys are really eager to get better, and again, respect what it takes, because we can't. It does take what it takes, and we can't change that. So having guys that believe in that, and then the leadership that brings that out of guys, it's everything to the continual growth and development.
Coach, do you have any sort of like checklist of what you want to see from your team or accomplish between now and the end of camp to know you're ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, it's everything that I've been talking about. It's showing up out here and knowing that guys have the maturity to, when we show up for the hydration test in the morning after day one, that our older guys in particular, or guys that have been here, are where they're supposed to be on that hydration test. If a guy shows up here and he's in the quote-unquote red after a first day, that's concerning. That's a guy that's taking what we're talking about nonstop for granted. Because if your best ability is availability, and if you're an older guy and we're counting on you, and then you can't go through half the practice because you weren't hydrated, that's a problem. That's concerning for an older guy, not for a young guy that I know we told him, but he didn't hear it or whatever. I'm talking about. So, let's get that right. Let's know the installation. If you're an older guy, we got some simple installation. Know what to do. Your job is to know what to do, and then play fast and aggressive. And those are things that you're in control of. And then again, attitude and effort. Guys that completely and totally buy in all the time. No matter what, you buy in all the time. And so I know we talked about them when I had opening day press conference. Become more efficient, tougher, physical, better leadership, better competitive depth, guys, quality play, guys that can really go in there in all critical situations and play. So development of all those things. There's no part of our program that we don't have to get better at. And so I'm not painting everything with a broad brush, but that's reality. And this is a developmental game. And I want guys that are relentless to improve. And it takes humility and it takes hunger. And that's what I want from a football team. I want a humble team and I want a hungry team. And I want a team that's accountable to one another and to this place and their opportunity. I want guys to show up here every day and respect their opportunity to be here. And your actions speak louder than words, coach and player. And so it's every part. So.
Brent, you mentioned guys stepping up and making plays these first couple of days. Is there anybody in particular who stood out on the offensive side in that regard?
Dylan had some really nice plays. JG made a nice play in the end zone. I think it was Jaquez. Stog had a great back shoulder. We were in great position, and he just ripped it from him. And I love that. I love to see guys make plays, because that's the game. If all things are equal, who's going to make a play? That's the name of the game. We're going to give them a whole bunch of layups. Don't freaking airball layup. All right, and that's, we got to get out of our own way. That's Oklahoma not losing to Oklahoma, and that's a real thing. And we got to do that first. We got to not, be in the red on a hydration test on the second morning of fall camp. That can't happen, okay? But, the playmaking, we had some guys make sacks and all that, but wearing shorts, let's continue to, and I saw, Jackson had a couple of balls here yesterday and today where he's throwing guys open and throwing it before they're open, and how do you see that? So he's made some good plays, and again, Dylan's had a couple of really, really well-placed balls, in the red zone where we got to get better. We were not very good in all the critical situations. Red zone, third and fourth down, the middle eight, we got to be better there. And so we spent a lot of time. And so I love to see some back and forth, and we saw that here these first couple of days.
Connor Neers played a lot of football, but in terms of the scheme, what kind of catching up does he have to do over the next 22 practices?
Well, I don't know how to put the barometer on it. And just get the basics down, and then every game we're going to have things we game plan for. We talked about that in several meetings, and certainly we did again this morning. There's a certain DNA every single week that you're going to have to recalibrate and kind of start over in some ways. But let's get the basics down. And he understands football. Now it's the verbiage, and now it's tempo, and now it's with different guys. Sometimes he's out there with an older guy, sometimes he's out there with a young guy. So when he's out there with a young guy, he better be right. So, but he's been fantastic. He shows up every day like a guy that's played a lot of ball and knows how to compete and respond and all those things. So, there's a lot to learn, but he's been working at it, since May.
Brent, I know you said Brent might miss a few days with his tonsils, but just what are you expecting out of him when he is on the field?
Speed to burn. He's fast, incredibly explosive, and really competitive, and he's grown a lot even since he's gotten here. That's him saying it, not necessarily me, and but he's just another weapon, and speed is. We really focused on trying to get faster as a football team. I don't think our speed was great a year ago, and we needed to compete at the highest level. Your ability to accelerate and decelerate, your explosive power, your explosive speed, everything. We lost we lost a ton of body fat. We gained a tremendous amount of body mass as a football team, and then we focused on getting faster, and our benchmarks for acceleration and deceleration were way above the norm, but he's a guy that jumps in there and makes you faster immediately, and the ability to stretch the field vertically. I think we know that.
It's been 2 practices. Obviously, he's only been through spring, but Jackson Arnold, what has your impressions been of him?
Just seeing him get better. Again, that's what you see, a guy that's improving and getting better. That doesn't sound sexy, but that's a very important, and not everybody does. And he certainly hasn't been perfect, but I think probably a lot more consistent. You said you generally speak and stand back and watch, making better decisions and a little more patient, and sometimes making the decision faster when we got Comanche in or whatever, blitz package or whatever, and things are going crazy in front of his face, making good decisions at the right time. And so all of those things, I think he's getting more and more comfortable, more consistent, and then he's made some instinctual plays as well.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, appreciate it.
Thanks, Brent.
Yep.